hips, shaking his head a bit. He would have liked to get that sweep early on.
Jeff with the big overhand. Steve clinching again, pushing him up against the cage. Get that head control. Throw those knees to the body.
Short knees to the inside
Jeff
of the leg.
gets a double unders, looks for the takedown. Steve does a nice throw from here. Let's see if he can pull it off or whether Jeff can take him backwards.
Oh, nice trip.
There's
and
that counter that Steve's so good at.
Steve does a really beautiful throw from when the opponent's got double underhooks, and I felt that firsthand.
And he's now he's got the crossface, trying to free his leg from the half guard. You know Jeff's going to be in a lot of trouble if he passes that guard. And he passes him back into his guard.
Steve just forcing him across to the edge of the cage here, trying to get him up against the cage, I'd say.
I think that was more trying to get his head free and posture up. So he's trying to turn him off the cage so he can't use the cage to stand up. Now let's see, Steve returns some of that ground and pound that Jeff was so kind to give him earlier on in the fight.
Steve's going for a can opener there just to put a bit of pressure on the back of his neck and maybe open up his guard.
Or if you're really lucky, get the tap. You can crank it enough. Had some great nights tonight. We've got to thank our sponsors, the Weapons of Mass Destruction, Vengeance Fightwear, Healthy IT Solutions, and Central Coast Fencing. All these guys have helped make a great show. Not as much work as the fighters have done, of course.
Of course not. No, yeah, I think a few of the fighters would disagree with that. But, you know, we wouldn't have a show without the sponsors. Steve Thomas staying very busy on the ground here on top. Jeff is also staying busy from the bottom. He's making it difficult. He's squirming around.
It's breaking Steve's posture, never letting him get into a position to rain down some blows.
Oh, nice short little left hand there by Jeff King.
Now Steve, to change his mind, decided to use the cage, press Jeff up against it to get that can opener, see if he can open the legs here. Oh, nice short rights. Jeff goes for Steve's sweep, but Steve manages to recover and get to the half guard.
Half guard, nice, and he's got him.
And Jeff trying to again recover the guard, but Steve, cross knee guard pass, passes nicely. Jeff got those
Jeff
feet
King's
up against the
walking
cage, yep. Well, you can see Steve very much aware of it and turns him around so he can't use that cage anymore to roll over.
Fantastic. Fantastic fight moves by both fighters here. And Jeff King really copping a few punches there by Steve.
He's recovered his half guard. So he's showing that he's not clueless on the ground off his back. He's showing some good skill from underneath. Even if it isn't offensive, he's showing some good defensive skill.
Jeff King's certainly been very busy in the last few years. He's fought on CFC, a couple of fights on Tuffa now, and certainly a skilled MMA practitioner. He knows what he's doing in there. Steve Thomas seems to have the better at the moment, but I'm not sure if this will stay this way for long. Referee Steve Percival giving both fighters a warning of inaction.
I have to say Steve is staying busy with his punches at the bottom. Jeff's throwing a few small shots from underneath, but not enough to keep the referee happy, so Steve stands him up.
Steve, at the moment, I'd say having a lot better of the second round.
Both guys step in and hit each other. Jeff goes for those double underhooks.
Steve's got him almost in a standing guillotine, arm in.
Yeah, arm in, front headlock position in wrestling.
And Jeff's going for the single leg.
Constantly pressuring, looking for that far ankle to see if he can pull it out. Yep, and he does. But Steve with the front headlock still. Jeff pops it out to avoid the guillotine. Now Steve locks Jeff up in the full guard, and he's pressed up against the cage. So now we've reversed it from earlier on in the fight.
Steve Thomas just trying to have a little bit of a rest there. It looks he's getting his knee across and going
and he goes for that sweep again.
It's one of his favourites. Jeff King seems to be able to just rip his left hand out and post right at the critical time.
Well, especially when the guys get slippery, it's hard to control that arm, and if he gets it out as he did, he's able to.
Oh,
and he gets
there
it.
he has. Beautiful technique there by Steve
Now
Thomas.
he's on the
10
mount
seconds to
position,
go.
and again finishes on top.
Finishes
But
strong.
not enough time to do any damage.
But how would you? I'd certainly count the first round to Jeff King. He's getting to his feet a little bit slow on, but I'd give that second round clearly to Steve Thomas. I think he sustained more damage.
Yeah, Jeff reversed it for a little bit, but not enough. I think Steve controlled the majority of the round, did more damage than Jeff. So yeah, probably a round apiece at this point in time, even though both rounds have ended with Steve on mount.
On mount, that 10 seconds seems to be 10 seconds scissor sweep. Final round.
I guess we could call him Steve 10-second Thomas, but I don't think he'd appreciate that. Nice knees from the clinch. Once again, Jeff gets those double underhooks. Steve goes for his throw, but misses it.
Just a bit slippery, I think, in the third round.
Now pressuring him up against the cage. Let's see if Steve works for the takedown or he keeps working for those knees. Double underhooks again for Jeff. Steve has those double overs. Will he go for his throw again? No,
nice
throws
knee.
a nice knee instead.
Now he's
got the tie clench. Clipped him on the chin.
Steve Thomas is in there, and
the
I'm
ref's
sorry, Steve
pulling
Percival's
him
in
off.
there, and Steve Thomas wasn't getting out.
Yeah, beautiful knee that just
Beautiful
put
knee. If we can have a look at that again,
Jeff
that'd
on
be
his
fantastic.
butt. And then Steve has jumped on top with the ground and pound, and the refs felt he had to jump in there and save Jeff from further damage.
Which is what we want. We always want him stopped early, not late. It looked like Steve Thomas, he went for his throw with the opponent's got the double underhooks, didn't pull it off. Looked balked like he was going for that again and just launched a knee straight up into the
Picked
midsection.
up the tie clench before